That's why the foreclosure process just simply is not going to increase, is because everybody has too much equity in their home. And that's why no one is foreclosing here. This one you are going to like, because I'm going to give Albert all the credit in the world for this one. Don't worry, I'm not about to make fun of you. I know you look like I'm about to make fun of you.
Oh, it's going to happen anyway.
No, it's not.
You're setting me up.
No, I'm really not. You can trust me on this one. Look how much prettier I made this look. And this, by the way, is that mortgage delinquency and foreclosure graphic that I think Albert first pulled. And now we're going to take a look. Look how pretty this looks now.
Oh, yeah, that's an improvement.
Yeah, so you can see here, there's a lot of people out there that are saying, okay, I know the real estate market's hot, but I'm going to wait until all those mortgage delinquencies from the COVID deferments hit the market. And when they hit the market, that is when I am going to wait and buy real estate and ask for closing costs and use my VA loan and things like that. And unfortunately, that's just not going to happen. So you can see here, this is taking us back to the 2008, 2010 era where we had tons of foreclosures, record numbers in the history of this country. And you can see this light green or light blue are people that are in the foreclosure process. This middle range teal here is people that are 90 days delinquent. And then this blue down here is people that are 30 to 90 days delinquent. Okay, which happens all the time, believe it or not. 30. That's why you can see even in the hottest market during the housing boom, we still had about 4% of the people that were, 30 to 90 days delinquent. That just happens from people who missed their mortgage payment because they didn't check their mail or are just a little bit bad on paying their bills on time. Okay, but you can see back during the housing boom, very few people then went 90-day delinquent, and another small amount of people went into the foreclosure process. You see that? Okay. And then when you moved into the Great Recession through here, the people that went into 30, 90-day didn't really go up a lot. But you can see a whole lot more people went past 90 days. And then ultimately a huge number went into foreclosure. Okay. Now, over the years, the market has recovered tremendously. Prices have gone up and we've got lots of appreciation. So as you can see, the people that were 30 and 90 days actually has gone down and really gone down since COVID happened. So very few people are not making their mortgage payments. Very few people. Okay. And that's just been decreasing. And since COVID, you can see here's that little blip where people said, whoops, I'm not going to pay my mortgage because COVID says I don't have to. But then everybody started paying it again once they realized, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to have to pay it back anyway. So they got caught up in a hurry. See that? That spike right there? And now here we are midway through 2021, and we have never seen fewer people past 30 days in the history of this country. Look at that. That's the lowest blue line, not the history of this country, since 2002, sorry. Okay. And that's counting the great housing boom. Now you can see there's a lot of people in this 90-day process, about the same number as in the peak of this, and that's what everybody's scared about. But you can see that number's going down too, because they're still being deferred. But understand, most of the banks said we can defer, you don't have to make these payments. And some of them had to start making payments in December of 2020. Some of the banks said you got to start making payments in February 2021. Some of the banks said April and May of 2021. Quite a few said June 1st, 2021. Notice how none of them, look at this foreclosure process color. Notice how almost no one is going into the foreclosure process. You see that? No one. If you look even back to the housing boom, they had more people going into the foreclosure process when house prices were jumping 10 to 15% a year with all kinds of equity. They still had 2 to 3 times as many people going into foreclosure than they are during this process with people coming off their deferment periods. And you can see how it's trending down. Less and less people doing it. So understand, for us to be able to explain this, we have to explain, yeah, there's a lot of people in deferment taking a free ride, but no one's getting foreclosed upon. Why is no one getting foreclosed upon? Because you'd have to be living, under a rock somewhere, either that or a complete moron, to not realize you have tons of equity in your house and that you can sell it before you let it go into foreclosure and pay the loan off and make a ton of money too. That's why. I mean, we've seen appreciation in 2020 to 2021 of somewhere between 15 and 20%. That's going to be more than enough to make up, a year of loan payments and then put a bunch of money in your pocket too. That's why the foreclosure process just simply is not going to increase, is because everybody has too much equity in their home, and that's why no one is foreclosing here. Yeah, there's a lot of people who've deferred who've gotten a free ride, although the number's dropping. No one's going into foreclosure. We've never had less foreclosures than we do right now after people come out of the deferment period. Everybody get that?
Hey, Brian, I put another chart into the chat too, which I thought even tells this story a little more. Well, I actually, it's probably about the same. I think that this chart's still the best one to use, but one more to put into the toolbox is the number of people that are just basically in forbearance plans one way or the other. Effectively, what it is that there was 3 major guarantors in the government that are effectively publishing the forbearance data. And then, so what you see is over time, while you're looking at the foreclosures, people aren't having any problem getting out of forbearance. They're not turning into foreclosures. The number of forbearances are just steadily decreasing at the same rate consistently over time. The yellow line's the important one, which is just all total. What are the total number of forbearances? We've gone from 8.5% of their portfolio down to 5% of their portfolio in 1 year. And that's when there was no mandate to get off, right? So no one's been forced off forbearance yet. So it doesn't seem like there's any challenge with getting out from under whatever that deferment is.
All right, I love it. This is a great graph. I'll make this prettier too.
Yeah, it's ugly.
That's all right.
It's the raw data.
I don't make the data you use. I just make it prettier. So, so that's awesome. Thank you. I actually really appreciate that one.
Yeah, but to put it into a sentence, it's like there's virtually no one is having a problem getting out of forbearance, and there's no detectable change in the number of foreclosures as that's happening.
That's right.
That's the evidence for that statement.
Great. So everybody, I would download that one if you don't want to wait a week or two till I make you a prettier one, or I have a prettier one made. But I think that's a great one. Thank you for that. So that's something, that's our job, guys. Our job is to get it out there to, our people.